This is a quick tutorial on how to navigate the payment forms and perhaps make some updates to pricing or some of the details on the payment forms. So let's get started. Alright, so first we're going to go ahead and go to the payment forms area. To get there, we're going to go to our components and go down to payment form. Now, when you click there, it immediately drops you into the payment section, which shows you your recent purchases that people have made using these forms. But let's go ahead and go into the forms management area. So here we can see some of the forms that are available already created. And what we're going to look at first of all is perhaps how to change pricing, because this is probably the biggest requested task to perform. So let's go ahead and open up Submit an Obituary and look at some of the available fields that you can set here. So if you read down this list, there's some basic ones such as the title of the form, the amount you'd like to charge, as well as some other features that you may or may not need to be aware of. In the next tab you have the messages section, where you can actually put a little message on the form explaining what the form is for, what the features there are, or options there are, summarize what the service is for, or the form is for here. The field settings, basically you can turn off or on to display or require some of the different bits of information you'd like to ask from people when they fill out the form. And these are all custom fields that were added, and you could see here how you can click to show or require or turn off some of the ones that you may or may not need. Now when it comes to creating the price and changing prices, you'll notice that this particular service costs just $25. But some of these forms will actually have a $0 amount, because the way you charge is based more on options rather than on the actual main service itself. So for example, if we were to open up one of these other forms here, perhaps a milestone event, we'll see that the amount is actually 0, and we're thinking, what do we change the price then? Well, milestone events are priced based upon the number of images people have. They could submit free text to be published, but if they'd like it to attach an image, that's going to cost. So in this case, we'll notice that we want to cancel this out and go to our fields management section, and we should notice some fields that have to do with price options for a milestone event image. So in order to sift through this pretty quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose not to show the core fields, just to get those out of the way, like name and email and phone number. And then I'm just going to have it sort by the name. And real quickly your eye will start to see that there are different fields for prices right here. Milestone events, print classifieds, weddings. Now let's go ahead and open up the prices one. And this is the one that asks them how many event photos would they like. So we'll go ahead and click to open this, and we'll notice that this is set to display on Submit a Milestone Event. Here's the question they'll be asked. It's actually going to be a little radio list options, little circles. They can pick one or the other. And you could add a little description if you like. But this is perhaps the most important part. Under the values that people see that they can click on, we have 3. No photo, which is equal to 0. 1 photo, $15. 2 photos, $13. And you could continue this on as many as you'd like. What you'll want to do here now is notice that fee values, this is actually the dollar amount that gets assigned for what these options actually will cost. This is more of a label. This is the actual value for this option. Second line would correspond to this line. Third line to this line. So to change the prices on these options, you can change the label, as well as make sure you change the fee value for that label. And when you hit save and close, when the form is filled out and calculated, it should add up their total and properly adjust based on the options they'd like.